Alright, babes, and today I'm giving you very much raw. And y'all see the thumbnail, you already know this is going to be a raw tutorial, so just lock in, get your little pencil and paper, because you guys are going to get a lot of in-depth details and information on how to kill a dark skin model. So off camera, before I filled in her brows with the brow stylist definer in the shade dark brunette, I went in with my dual lash glue. So my dual lash glue hack around the world, people have tried it. It went viral, and people telling me, Lashay, I like it, even though some people don't really prefer it, but it's okay. Different techniques, you'll see if you like it or if you don't. But for the ones who are trying to do a lash glue before the brows, you can also have the same finish if you apply the dual lash glue after the brows. And when I went to Houston, I explained that to my students that it doesn't always have to go in the exact technique. You guys can always switch it up and make it to your liking where you are comfortable. A lot of my supporters always ask, Lachey, why my eyeshadow isn't popping up? Why it's not pigmented? Why it's not showing well? Eye prep is very important. You have to put some concealer down on your lid in order for that product to pop. You have to put down concealer and also set it. So the first shade I went in with to conceal the bottom of her brows, it has to be at least 2 shades lighter than the original skin tone. And to conceal the top of the brows, you can go in with her original skin tone foundation. Two concealers that I used for her eyebrows was in the shade Espresso and Cappuccino from CoverGirl Concealer. I don't use CoverGirl for any other thing, only the eyes. The only reason I can say is because CoverGirl is a good coverage, it's very full coverage, but the only thing with CoverGirl is it dries down very, very fast. And with me, sometimes when you're doing faces, you're not gonna really go as the pace of the product, if you get what I'm saying. So it does dry down very fast. So I only use it for the eyelids. The first shade I popped into her crease was from the Morphe bronzer in the shade Prodigy. If you guys want this specific bronzer, most of the time they will only be online. in store, they wouldn't have more of the darker skin complexion bronzers. So I will prefer you guys to just order it. You are a true MUA OG. If you already have this palette in your kit, this is the top holy grail. This is the True Complex Contour Palette. This is the deep to dark. And I went with that darkest shade and popped it right on her lid just to smoke out that brown a little bit more. When it comes to the darker skin ladies, you have to reach towards the darker shadows just to bring it more of a pop to the lids and even towards the face. So I used to always use this palette before I met Morphe. I still love True Complex. This is by Black Radiance. So if you guys do have this in your kit, use it. It is good for the ladies. Y'all know I love my Milk Grip Primer. It gets into it and it makes the foundation stick. And I know the little trolls gonna be on here. Oh, girl, why you use your hands to use her primer? Da, da, da. I wanted the primer to really get into her skin. Most of the time I use a brush, but sometimes it don't do the job. But between the client, I really did go wash my hands. If you want her to vouch, she could just comment below. Knowing that it was so much light on the client at the time that the foundation looked pretty dark, but also I noticed that it was dark. So when you notice things like that, like once you go in with a dark foundation, make sure you stand in front of your client just to see is it the perfect shade. So I noticed it really wasn't her exact shade, so then I just mixed and matched. So if you have a shade that's too dark than your original client, then you have a shade that's also a little bit too light than your original client, then just mix the colors together and you'll get the perfect shade. And that's what we got today. And I know a lot of you guys also send out pictures of you want me to critique your work and tell you how it is. Most of the time, I'm noticing that, ladies, you have to bring down the foundation to your client's neck. Sometimes when you don't have them look as a full complexion, it can make it look like your client's face is lighter than her body. after using one of my favorite foundations, which is the NARS Longwear foundation, I went in to conceal. And when you are concealing your client, make sure it's at least 2 shades lighter than the original skin tone. But I want you guys to be careful. Try not to use too much of the concealer. Let the coverage of concealer be that coverage. Do not apply too much of the concealer onto your client. So this was the only concealer I used today. Less is more, and that's what I want you guys to stay focused on. Knowing that some tutorials I do be over the top. I use more concealers and da 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 da. But when it comes to dark skin ladies, less is more. To tone down the highlight a little bit more and to avoid a too bright surface, I went in with a darker concealer around her highlight. Ladies, if you guys want to try this technique, it's very helpful. It avoids changing the color of your client. I know we like to highlight, but you still want your dark skin model to remain dark skin. This is a very important message out to the MUAs out there. Let your client remain dark skin. It's beautiful. Let her embrace her melanin. Let her embrace her beauty. Like, everybody loves some chocolate. And basically, I want my client to remain chocolate. I do not want to remain any other color. I went with the Camo Hydrating Concealer and also the e.l.f. Hydrating Concealer. I love e.l.f. e.l.f. is like top grill. One of these days, I'm going to do a video that will be only using e.l.f. products. And also, I'll do another video also using Maybelline products. I think you guys really want me to show you guys that it's not about the products, it's really about the technique. Yes, Lord. The brush I used to blend out her concealer was the Real Technique set brush. And also I went with the damp beauty blender from Real Technique as well, just to blend out all the edges of everything to have every tone come together. And right after, I will go in to set the face. I used the Laura Mercier in the shade Honey Translucent. And I also set the remaining of her face in the shade Coffee Cake from Huda Beauty. Now it's time to structure your client's features. So you'll be bringing back in the life to her skin, the life into her face. So you'll be going in with your bronzers that you use for her eyelid and also the contour shade that you also use for her eyelid. And I know plenty of you say like, Lashay, like that contour, that blush, that bronzer, it doesn't pop up on my client. Y'all have to stop being scared. It's good to be light-handed throughout the makeup so your makeup looks soft. But when it comes to bringing structure and having them snatched cheeks and that snatched nose and that snatched jaw, you have to pan. You have to keep panning. Get as much as product as you can. Not too heavy, but you want to build up the coverage to your liking. If you're that type of MUA where you only like real soft blushes and real soft beats, you don't really want the contour or the blush to show, that's no problem. But me, Lashay, I like to have them pop up. I want my clients to walk out of my salon like they're finna walk on a Met Gala red carpet. You know, I want them to look like they finna go to prom every day. I want them to look like walking filters. So I pop up that blush, I pop up that contour. It may be a lot to most, but you have to be very unique in your own way. Now it's time to bring that snatch look to your client. You'll be going in with that darker powder that you used to set her face earlier. So I went in with the coffee cake from the Huda Beauty. If you guys don't have that, you can go in with a deep setting powder from Maybelline, or you can go in with the deep setting powder from Laura Mercier, whichever you choose. But you're just shaping out and setting her features. With that excess powder on that beauty blender, I just wanted to set other parts of her face where we had concealed just to tone down the highlight a little bit more. Like I said, I want my client to remain her original skin tone, but I want her to pop. Before you guys judge me, this technique has been growing on me along the way. I felt like no lip liner would ever pop on my dark skin clients. It wouldn't give that Barbie lip like it does with any other skin tone. So I wanted to enhance my dark skin models a little bit more. So I went in with a dark black lip liner. This is from Kiss. You can get it from your nearby hair store. And just to buff it out a little bit more, I went in with a cream contour. Now the cream contour is like a cream foundation stick, and it's from Black Opal, and it's in the shade Ebony Brown. Now, ladies, I really want you to try this and let me know how you feel about it, but you will see how it makes my client's lip pop. Even when you're doing a red lip, even when you're doing a lip as such, like a nude like this, when I pop on her gloss, y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. But it will elevate the contour of her lips, and I love that I came up with that idea for my clients, because now they can see like, oh, I could be raw too, like I could be detailed too, my lips can show too, you know. So this was a very, very important tip and a new hack I want you guys to try. If you guys try it, make sure you tag me at LashaysGlamz on all platforms and let me know how you love it. But to go in the middle of her lips, I went in with the Virgin nude lip. This is from Morphe. I also topped it out with a little bit of some white concealer, and then I popped it on with some hair store gloss, and it was giving. You know, this was giving, like the structure, everything was just giving in this whole entire look, and I just love to see it. And now I'll be going in with my pressed powder just to blend away that setting powder, and I went in with the Studio Fix by MAC in the shade NW58, which is one of the darkest shades. And I went in with it to set the remaining of her face just to avoid any flashback or just to blend out all the structures and all the contour. I wanted to blend out all the edges so it can all come together. So you'll be going in with that foundation shade pressed powder to set the remaining of her face. Now when it comes to the spots where you conceal that, which is at least the highlight of her face, you want to keep that spot highlighted. You want to keep that space highlighted. You want that snatch under eye look. So you'll go in with also a light pressed powder as well. So the light pressed powder I went with was from the Studio Fix also, and it was in the shade NW48. And I wanted to just keep her under eye brightened. I still wanted her look snatched. So that's what we did. And she was listening to some Afro beats. Girl, we love Afro beats here in the salon. We love shout out to the Africans, shout out to the Nigerians, shout out to the Jamaicans. We love a little bit, chupa, chupa. We just love it. Before you move on to set the face with that Morphe setting spray, you have to fix little corners where you feel like the powder has dust off the blush. I love a little powder blush. But sometimes when you're blending everything, sometimes the details will fade away. So just bring back in those details. But I also just wanted to bring a little bit more flavor to her face. It was her birthday, and I really just wanted to pop it out. It's cancer season, and she really just had like a sequence silver dress. And when she came to me, she was like, "Lashay, what you feel like I should do? A natural beat, or you think that's a little bit too much going on with the silver?" And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna always tell you guys, a naked beat with a pop is enough. It's okay. You don't have to do too much. Like, I never understood, and I think it's just like a 2015 flavor. But sometimes when a person will wear a blue dress, they want their eyeshadow to be like blue glitter. Or they wear like a red dress with red heels with red hair. They want everything to be red, and it's a little bit not it. The new flavor of 2022. Just keep it simple. Just rock it. Just like I tell you guys, a little go a long way, and a little really pops. So naked beats go with everything. I topped on a white matte shadow in the corner of her eye, and now I'll be going in to highlight her skin with the gold deposit highlighter from MAC. So you guys could avoid saying, "Oh, she's not dark skinned." Ladies, there's so many lights in my studio. So I had to dim the lights real quick to show you her skin, and she looks gorgeous. She looks gorgeous. And I overlove this look. I know a lot of people ask me questions about what's your favorite skin tone, da da da. But the first client that I ever did was a dark skinned person, which was my sister. And a lot of people will reach towards, grabbing the light skinned girls to sit in their chair first. But I felt like it's something that needed to be done in the makeup community. A lot of people really don't know how to enhance a dark skin model. And you basically just have to keep them their original skin tone. And I wanted to be that MUA that was known to master dark skin models, because a lot of dark skin models will text me and be like, "I'm a little scared to get my makeup done because I don't really, I was always scared for MUA to do my face. I want to still look like me, but I want to look like a pop. And Lashay, I know you'll do the job." So right here, I was just revealing to her how her face looked, and she went crazy. She was like, "Girl, Lashay, I knew we was going to do it. You do it every time." And she was going crazy about it, and I love that reaction from my clients. And I love that they can embrace their beauty, because every skin tone is raw. Every skin tone is beautiful. If you guys want to see some more tutorials, make sure you just click that notification bell so you can be the first one to see whenever I post. subscribe, like, and comment. I hope you guys love looking at this video. I hope you guys jot down a lot of information that I can help you on with your journey of makeup. I love you guys so much. Raw babes for life. Make sure you comment down below. Tell a friend to tell a friend that this is the page where you will learn all the gems. I love you guys so much. Follow me on all platforms at LashaysGlamz, and mwah.